Mouth air horns.
Hi.
Hey, dude. How's it going?
Good. I'm so excited about today's topic.
Me too. Oh my God.
I can't wait. And also this week's been so good because on Monday we were like, oh, where are all these like listeners coming from? For some reason we were getting like this spike.
Huge spike, yeah.
Yeah, and we on our first episode, and I was like, that's so weird. And then I was listening to my friend Christine's podcast, which is called And That's Why We Drink, which is like a paranormal and true crime podcast. It's really good.
It's so good.
Yeah,
I listened
it's so
to
good.
it. I was dying listening to them talk. The Dybbuk box is so creepy. I've actually heard that story before. It's creepy as fuck. Like, it should be a movie. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it's so fucking good. Yeah, they gave us a shout out. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was so nice. And that's where those like listens kind of came from. So it's pretty cool. I feel like we have some new fans, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We have some new peeps listening. It's not just our moms anymore.
Yeah. Or like our friends that we're like badgering into listening.
Yeah.
All my friends are like, oh, I've been meaning to listen. And I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
But
Just kidding.
But noted.
Yeah, but next time I see you, fucking, you know I took that note in my head.
I'm out.
I'm going to say something.
Yeah. When you least expect it.
That's right.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's like so exciting because we have like some new Facebook fans and Twitter followers, and people are like sharing fun facts. So I don't want to say her last name, but this follower Sydney gave us a really fun fact about our episode that we did on Disney Origins and where the name Wendy came from, which was kind of like something Jamberry made up, and it was based on like the combination, like it was based on like friend, but like saying
it was
weird.
like a nickname for friend.
Yeah, but it was like Wendy.
Fwendy, my Fwendy.
Which maybe just kind of adds to the fact that he was like fucking weird.
But like now Wendy's like a real name.
Yeah. Well, and also
that's my friend Leah's cat's name.
Oh. But also like Gwendolyn, I think, is where it also came from. Right? But it was like a fun little fact.
Like the short name Wendy is from that.
Yeah.
Super cute.
Wendy.
Wendy.
Which an adult grown man saying that is soups creepy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to all of our new listeners joining us now, and even to our existing listeners, we have more listeners than we have ratings and reviews on iTunes. So I'm just gonna say, we know you're listening and you're not rating or reviewing us. And that's not cool, bro.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's rude. And that's rude.
Do whatever you want.
But also like,
yeah.
You know, if you're listening and you enjoy it, why not give us a little rating? Why not subscribe?
You don't even have to write anything. You can just push. Oh, I just spit all over my microphone.
Now there's spit and cat hair on it.
Yeah, it's fine. No, you don't even have to like actually write anything because you know, like, I thought you had to like be like, if you wanted to submit a rating, you had to like write something like, and I was like prepared to be like, these girls are great, but all you have to do is push the stars and just do 5 stars. Like it's no big deal.
One of the ratings is you, one is me, one is my cousin, and I don't know who the rest are. So
whatever.
Yeah, but whatever. But it would be nice if you guys could do that for us. We'd appreciate it, and it would empower us to continue doing this forever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I'll still do it forever, even if you don't want to. I'll just sit here by myself.
Oh, ew, no.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, but thanks, guys. That's really cool. Really nice feedback, and yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
And really appreciate the listens and the likes and the comments and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, follow us at DTFU Podcast everywhere.
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 Yeah.
So yeah.
I was gonna share. I'm like trying to find the right time to share this like fun fact I've been sitting on that that a listener helped us with, who may or may not be my cousin. But I want to save it because something happened yesterday, and it's like affecting my life now. Oh
shit.
Wait, update on last week's lava beans. My mouth is fucked up. I was so smug. Like the first 2 days, I was like, "Oh,
you're like, no, it's fine."
Yeah.
And then I sandpapered my roof of my mouth with a bunch of pistachios.
Well, okay, which that did get rid of the hangy bits, but then now it's like Elephant Man on one side.
Oh no!
It's like
Do
growing.
you think it's
lump.
like actual blisters?
Yeah. It's like, and it's
Fuck.
like very tender, and it's like I think it's just like one kind of big blister. I don't think it's gonna pop or anything. It's just like kind of swollen and sensitive.
And it's just like a canker sore now?
Not even. It's like it's not like an open woundy type thing. It just is like a very sore, like I think it's just like traumatized.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. But also related to eating, yesterday at work, because that's how I spend most of my time. Yesterday at work, we have this like series where I work in marketing and in media, and so we have this series where we ask speakers from like different industries or like things that aren't necessarily relevant to us to come in and give talks on specific topics every month, and kind of like
cool.
Yeah, like inspire us and get us thinking differently. So
Nice.
you know, like it just continues to help you innovate and think differently. So this guy from PETA came in, and
Ooh.
the topic like PETA,
Animal protect.
yeah.
Oh
God, the something, people for the ethical treatment of animals.
Yeah.
And so everybody, of course, is like eye roll.
Yeah.
And so the topic was empathy, and so he was like, "Oh, I raised my hand before he started, and people were kind of like still sitting down and stuff, and I was like, am I gonna cry in this meeting?" And he's like, I don't know, but there is.
If
like,
you're empathetic, you will.
right. Well, yeah.
You're like, fuck this.
Yeah. Well, but he was like, there is some disturbing stuff, but none of it's like bloody and gory. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, as long as that's fine. But there was some images of like animal testing and stuff on cats that wasn't like bloody or anything, but very sad. And then he showed us a video of basically a cow waiting in the slaughter hall. So like it's just a cow in this like concrete walkway, and it hears the one in front of it get like killed and fall, and then it starts freaking out, like it's trying to back down this I know, it's starting to back down this hallway. It tries to turn around, but it's like too short in there, and it's like looking at the cameraman and just like trying to get out of it. And it was like,
I hate it.
It made me so anxious and scared, and like, you know, just like freaking out, and I was like so upset by it. And then the second thing, like exercise, was like we closed our eyes and he kind of walked us through, okay, imagine you're in an elevator, it's crowded, the doors close, and basically was talking us through a like being in a chicken coop, essentially. Like this is what it would be like. It would be dark, and then when the doors open, like you die, like it's dark your whole life, and then the doors open and that's then. And I was like, oh man. But he talked to us about how the first example was like emotional empathy, and the second one is cognitive, and some people are both, and some people are one or the other. And I was definitely more of like the emotional one, because the second exercise I was just kind of like, like I couldn't like imagine myself there, I guess. But it was so interesting. And then so what was interesting, I guess, about PETA specifically was that they use this to like teach empathy to kids. They use animals to teach empathy to kids. And then he made the note of like, oh, I could show you a whole list of serial killers who have been mean to animals. And and I was all,
you're like, that's where I'm interested. This is what you should have led with.
Yeah. Well, and my friend Fraser, who I work with, who is like a loyal follower and listener, which is very nice, and thank you to him.
Yay.
He was like, "Oh, you should talk to Nicole about that. She knows all about it." And I was like, "Yes, that's one of the points on the triangle of serial killerdom, like,
Yeah.
along with head injuries and chronic
Yeah.
bedwetting." But yeah. Anyway, that was my fucked up thing, and I haven't eaten any meat since. I did eat.
I was gonna say, are you vegan now?
I don't know, not vegan, but now I'm like actually seriously questioning. Like,
Well, you just have to be careful with what you buy.
Yeah.
Like, I know I was like kind of like groaning at PETA because they have some questionable
practices. How they treat humans sometimes is like abhorrent.
Right. There's some issues there, but like, I mean, they have good intentions, I think, overall, but they're pretty radical about some stuff. So
yeah.
But I like over time learning about like food distribution, food chains, and how like literally like how we like consume our food is important to learn about, I think, and not just like be ignorant about how your food gets processed and where you're getting your food from, I think is important.
Yeah.
I don't eat a lot of beef just because, I don't know, it's not good for you.
Yeah.
And also it's really bad for the environment. They clear rainforest for grazing land for cattle.
Oh, which is so awful, but I love hamburgers.
I do too. But the thing is just you just have to find like
a balance.
Locally sourced food is your best bet, and ethically raised animals. I love fucking food, like beef. I love chicken. I love all the things. I love eating animals. Sorry, but
yeah. Well, and then my coworker
makes you feel better when you eat it.
One of my coworkers made a good point about like, oh, like animals eat other animals, so.
Yeah, we're animals.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, you know, there's a place for it, but we just need to think about, you know, how we're getting that food and how, like, maybe just think about how a chicken ends up for $2 at Walmart.
Yeah, just be mindful with your choices, that's all.
So that was my fucked up thing, and it ruined my day yesterday until I had cocktails in the afternoon at work.
And then you're like, I'll have a cheeseburger.
No. And then I was like, I'll have sushi. Fish are dumb.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I guess my fucked up thing is, this is stupid. It's not actually, it is kind of fucked up because I'm like afraid that I'm being like gang stalked or something.
Oh,
I don't
God.
know. Yeah, well, I keep hearing that Lovin' You song, like in the wild, not like weirdly, just keep hearing it everywhere.
Like I'm loving it?
No, like loving you is easy 'cause you're beautiful. Yeah, that
God.
one. Like one of the like weirdest random songs ever, and I keep hearing it everywhere. I wasn't going to talk about this because I didn't think it was like that weird, but now that I think about it, I like kind of told you about it before we started, and I'm like, it's kind of weird. So I was like walking home from the grocery store the other day, and I'm walking by this like work truck who's blaring the song, and the speakers are all fucked up, like in this old beat up work truck.
So it sounded like our version just now.
Right, exactly. It sounded horrifying. It sounded like demonic and weird and just totally distorted, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And that was like the final straw where I was like, something's happening, and I started getting paranoid, but it's fine. It's just weird. It's just that thing of where you keep hearing or seeing something. I don't know. And I forget what that is called.
But it's the ghost of Minnie Ripperton.
Yeah, Minnie Ripperton.
That's who that is, right?
Yeah,
and it's
I think so.
My Rudolph's mom.
Oh,
yeah.
I had no idea. That is a really cool fun fact.
Isn't that the a song in the episode of South Park where they hit the brown note and everyone shits themselves?
I think so. I can't remember.
It's like one of my favorite episodes, and I think like John Stamos's brother sings it in the episode. It's like fucking the weirdest episode, but I just like now when I think of that song, I always think of like the South Park character singing it, and so it's like loving you. You know, it's like
yeah. What's the one where they had that episode where it was like Teen Wave or whatever that's not what it was called, but it was like literal fart noises like over like synth like beats. It's one of my favorite episodes ever.
I have to watch
and
that.
then it was oh god damn it, I can't remember, but there's some really funny stuff in that episode. I haven't watched South Park in a long time. I fucking love South Park so much.
Me too. I heard they're not going to be like political this next season, which I'm actually well, I don't know, but I'm actually really excited about it because I feel like they'll come up with some really funny stuff by avoiding that. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I feel like, hey kitty,
he's literally climbing on my back. The other chair's behind me, so he like put his paws on my shoulder and like was like, "The fuck's going on up here, hey, ladies? What are you doing, stupid idiot?" Yeah. Oh man, love South Park.
Yeah.
And then I was like buying creme fraiche at the grocery store yesterday, and I started laughing too. Speaking of South Park.
Wait, why?
You know the creme fraiche episode?
No. Do I? I don't know.
Randy gets obsessed with like the Food Network, and he just like I can't tell you. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Oh, okay.
But the episode's called creme fraiche.
I know what I'm really doing funny. Later today.
Watching South Park all day long.
Yeah, a ton of fucking South Park.
Oh, anyway, well that was a weird thing, and then okay. I realized we need to like be more clear on some stuff. When yesterday DJ and I were talking, and he was like, "Oh, I just listened to the Teenage Wasteland episode. What the fuck is Chubby Bunny?"
Okay, we got a comment on our Facebook page too from the same fan that shared the fact about Fwendy. And was like, "What is Chubby Bunny?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I think we said, oh, and Chubby Bunny," and then we talked about something else.
DJ goes, "Is it some weird thing about furries?" And I was like, "No, but I love where your head's at."
Right. No, but stay tuned because that's definitely an episode we've been talking about.
Totally. Chubby Bunny is just where you put a bunch of fucking marshmallows in your mouth, and whoever puts the most in their mouth wins.
Yeah.
It's like a classic like sleepover, baby shower, fucking dumb
Mormon
game.
Party. It's like
Mormon party.
Super like
no offense to Mormons.
No, but it's like, it's not like a drinking challenge.
No, it's like what you can do when you're a kid, and which I feel like it's kind of scary. Like you feel like you're getting waterboarded or something.
Yeah, you could choke.
Totally.
It's hard to breathe at a certain point, but I don't know. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so sorry. We need to be a little bit more clear. Also, I was listening to the first episode again, and I realized I fucked up talking about J. Edgar Hoover. I confused him with Jimmy Hoffa disappearing like an idiot. It's like, oh my god, Erin, you're a moron.
Oh, I don't. That's okay.
I'm very I'm very sensitive to my own.
Oh yeah.
Dumbness.
Well, we're our own worst critics.
That's right.
But
that's right.
Also,
so if anybody heard that and was like, this bitch doesn't know what she's talking about.
You don't.
So,
no.
I don't. You're right. And I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Except I do, because I just had to call myself out.
Oh man.
Whatever.
I feel like we could go back and like correct so many things. Even in the teen one, I was bummed we didn't talk about chat roulette. But I feel like
I did chat roulette just a couple of years ago, like pretty recently, and first thing I saw, a dick. Immediately. I was like hanging out with some friends, and we're like, let's go on chat roulette.
What,
do people
you
still do it? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, yes. It was like midnight, and we like went on chat roulette, and like bam, penis.
Yeah.
Like not even like just a dick in the fucking frame. Like that's it. Just a fucking gross dick, and we're like, all right, we're done. That's it. Cool.
And
good to know.
Just as expected. Then you're always like, what, were we expecting something different?
No.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I think we
hoping.
We just wanted to see if it was like as fast as we thought. Like, well, actually I take it back. The first thing that happened was like a teenager like laying on the bed was like, and we're like, hi, and he's just like, nope. I don't think he was looking for a bunch of 30-something women.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that video where it's like a guy who's singing? He's like playing piano and making up songs about the people in chat roulette.
That guy's amazing.
Oh my God. That's like one of my favorite things of all time. It's just like.
So great.
Yeah.
I would be so happy if I got matched with him or whatever it's called on chat roulette.
Yeah. Although
So cool.
what would he say about you? That's like, I don't know. I like when it was always like a guy in a dark room with no shirt on.
And they immediately like either click off or they just like hang out and they're just like,
yeah, they're just laughing.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I was hoping to jerk off to a stranger, but
this is cool
this is
though
funny.
too. Nobody's made a song about me before, so.
Well, and
Good stuff.
Yeah, the other, I think last week's fucked up things. One of them, I had mentioned the Backstreet Boys cruise, which actually got us thinking about boy bands and like, basically this one guy who is responsible for boy bands, Lou Pearlman.
Yeah.
And so now segueing into our topic of this week.
Our topic today is boy bands and Lou Pearlman.
Yeah.
Lou loves the boys.
Let's hear it for the boys.
I feel really, really bad. I take back everything I said that was mean about how, like, I feel bad that I was shitting on boy bands so hard last week.
Oh, well, I mean, we didn't.
I feel like I was just being really cunty, so.
Well, we did say that Nick Carter has a Faces of Meth situation going on, but which we'll get into, like, maybe what that comes from, allegedly.
And that's mean, and shouldn't shit on people with drug problems. That's not nice.
But also,
yeah.
I heard he like abuses women and stuff too. Allegedly.
Then fuck him.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
But anyway.
But so I feel real bad, and then I started listening to Backstreet Boys again. Like, I went back to the original self-titled debut album from 1996.
What?
Backstreet Boys.
Oh, is that what that's what it's called?
Self-titled album.
Is that the one that's Everybody?
I feel like that is Millennium, but I'm not sure. Let me pull up my Spotify because I just was listening to it. No, I was like, what was my favorite Backstreet Boys song? And I will tell you, I was set adrift on Memory Bliss.
I don't know what that is.
That's a song.
Oh.
Fuck.
I don't know that one. How does it go?
I was making a good joke. I don't remember.
That was a joke.
Yeah. It was, but it's also the name of a song, so I was making a joke.
I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
No, one of Everybody is on the first album.
Oh, okay.
Everybody, yeah.
Backstreet's
but I feel like that's on their second album because that's Backstreet's Back. I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever.
It may have been on 2.
Well, my favorite Backstreet Boys song from back when it came out was "All I Have to Give." It's really good.
Is that the one like, I don't know what he does to make you cry, but I'll be there
if you smile. Yeah, exactly.
Wait, what is that one called? Oh, 'Cause my love is all. Yeah, I love this one.
This is like my favorite Backstreet Boys song.
I don't know what he does to make you cry, but I'll be there to make you smile.
A fancy car, I walk 1,000 miles. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's Brian.
So yeah, I was listening to Backstreet Boys last night, and DJ and I started singing, like belting out. I was like, I don't sing. I'm not a singer, and I've like already sung like 5 times in this episode, but because I cannot sing, and it's sad to me that I can't. But we were like, and he knows all the words to like a lot of Backstreet Boys songs, and he's like, can you put on some NSYNC, please?
Oh my God. What song did he request? Or was he just like anything?
No. He requested a specific song. He's like, I believe it's song 3 from the first album. He requested
Space Cowboy?
No. Here We Go.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Everybody's
but it starts.
Here we go now.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we go.
But it starts like.
Got the flow.
Doesn't it start like we're like a barbershop quartet? It's like.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah.
So we were literally like laying in bed, like listening to Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, like singing and like dancing. It was really fucking adorable.
Well, Lou Pearlman was like what all of these bands had in common because they were kind of like rivals, like
right. So there was it was like a gold rush of boy bands in the mid to late 90s. Backstreet Boys were first of all, it all started with New Kids on the Block.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That was, and I mean, it could be argued like
the Beatles
80s
even.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like this type of boy band like doesn't play an instrument, does
where it was like a
choreography.
formula.
Yeah.
It was a formula of like always 5 dudes. I think always 5 dudes. Yeah. And so this was like the formula that Lou Pearlman devised that was directly inspired by New Kids on the Block. Mm-hmm. So he started Backstreet Boys. I think they formed in like 1993.
Dang.
Yeah.
No wonder AJ's so old. We can still shit on him, right?
Yeah, I think so. He's probably like the nicest person, but who fucking cares?
I don't know.
But they didn't have their like first album out until like 1996 was when Backstreet Boys landed.
Yeah.
And then NSYNC came, and then there was like LFO. You know what LFO stands for?
I do, but you tell everyone.
It stands for Light Funky Ones.
But light spelled with a Y. It's like LYTE.
Yeah. What the fuck? I don't know what that even means. Oh. Like, oh Lord.
I met that guy, Rich Cronin, when I worked in the candy store in the mountains, and he was dating Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah, they came in and I scooped ice cream for them. It was really weird.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but he's dead now. So.
He is?
Yeah, he had
That's sad.
leukemia.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah, sad.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Take 5 was another one started. I don't remember them. I remember O-Town. That was they were. I don't remember any of their songs though. Like, to be honest.
You don't remember Liquid Dreams?
No.
Oh.
I feel like that's like talking about like literally wet dreams.
It is, and it names like Ew. It's like I want a girl who's a little of Destiny's Child, just a little touch of Madonna's wild style with Janet Jackson's smile.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Who were the ones that did this song? I like girls who wear Abercrombie.
That's LFO.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I liked O-Town. I went to their concert with all my cousins.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It was fun. We all wore jean jackets.
Like Gap jean jackets.
Yeah.
Cute. Another one that was started was called Natural. I don't remember them. And another one was Us 5.
Yeah. Or US 5.
I don't remember. US 5?
Those two, I think, were at the tail end when he started to... like
when Lou started to start fucking up and like everybody was like starting to sue him.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, okay, here's kind of it was almost like he was still struggling. It was like the death rattle was the Natural in US 5 or something.
Got it.
I think I've never heard of them, or we were like too old, but I feel like I still would have heard of them if they had a hit.
Right. I have no idea. I didn't even recognize or know of these two.
Yeah.
Um,
But
yeah, so yeah, let's talk about Lou though. Lou Pearlman was this just, I don't even know how to describe him. He was a
real skid mark.
He reminded me, what did I call him last night? He reminded me of the character from Jurassic Park.
Oh,
like the
the
guy
Newman
that plays
character.
Newman. Yeah. And he always would wear like Hawaiian shirts, and he was just like kind of a big fat slob, like just like gross, and I don't know.
I get road rage really bad, and for some reason, I like to call people fat frogs. I don't know why or where that. I think it came from someone I saw who like cut me off or something, and I was like, "You fucking fat frog!" And so now, it's just something I say, and
He had kind of a froggy face.
No,
like the
he
weird,
embodies it.
Like he had weird eyes and
Well, and his chin just like
gullet.
goes into he has a gullet. It is very like it's like a bubbly thing.
Well, and you know, he was just a slob. He wasn't he didn't give a fuck about
He's
anything.
He's a gross, awful human, which is why we're talking
Yeah.
so much shit.
Yeah.
But he was just like this kid from Queens originally, and it sounded like he had a really nice mom and dad, but maybe they were like too nice. Because they had a 1-bedroom apartment in Queens, and the parents were dry cleaners, and they gave him the bedroom, and
What?
they slept in the
like Regina George
living room. Yeah. Well, no, they didn't have another bedroom, so it wasn't even like,
Oh my God.
yeah, they just like slept in the living room, and he got the bedroom. So I think it was one of those things where like the parents
My
are
cat's
too
trying
doting.
to go outside. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I heard it. Do you want to
Yeah.
let him out?
No,
Oh, okay.
because he'll like. I don't know.
Oh,
Sorry.
That's okay.
Fucking. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Wait. So his parents gave him. Did they just sleep in the living room? Like.
Yeah,
what the
they just
fuck?
slept in the living room, and like he was
Jesus.
described as a kid as a shy young man without obvious talents.
Oh,
Which-
that's sad.
Yeah, but I feel like that kind of is like,
Well.
okay, maybe that's why he was like so into.
Well,
Other people.
he also is cousins with Art Garfunkel of Simon and Garfunkel. So that must have been hard.
Oh my. Yeah.
Like to live up to, so that's how he got like interested in the music business.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Art Garfunkel performed at his bar mitzvah, like at Lou's bar mitzvah. And I'm sure that, you know, it's a lot of pressure if you have somebody super successful in your family that you feel like you need to live up to or surpass.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
I wonder like what the age difference was.
I don't know.
Well, but then like Lou Pearlman was smart and actually like a pretty driven, I don't want to say good businessman, but he was like a very driven businessman.
Right.
So he started to like dabble.
Yeah. He was entrepreneurial.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurial. That's a really hard word to say for me for some reason. Yeah, he originally got into the aviation business. He was a blimp.
He was a blimp.
No. He got into blimp rentals. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But okay, I thought this was really funny because I should caveat that most of my research came from a documentary by Vanity Fair, and specifically, his name was Brian Burrows. Wrote this article in Vanity Fair and all about like Mad About the Boys, and it was like all about Lou Pearlman, and then they turned it into like a 45-minute documentary. So that's where I got most of my information. But there was something really funny in there about like their first gig with the blimp. They like rented it out for events, and the first event was with Jordache jeans in 1980, and it was
Literally the most 80s thing
literally,
ever.
yeah, and it had like $15,000 worth of like gold plating on it, and it like
Oh my God.
it took off
On the blimp?
Yeah, it was like gold plated, and it like took off and then fucking immediately crashed.
Oh my God.
Which luckily they had.
Was there anybody in it?
No, well, I mean, like they
Like, there's
would
a
survive.
operator.
There was like no deaths. Like I don't even think it really took off. Like it just, it was just like sad, and
Oh my God.
and so but they had insured it. So that was like the very first time he got like a taste for money, because they got paid out like $3 million or something.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and so that's when it kind of like all started. But yeah.
Well, so he did the aviation business, did not make a lot of money, and it was really hard to get going in the aviation business. So he was always interested in the music business because his cousin is a successful singer-songwriter. So that's how he kind of started getting into the boy band realm. He was like really impressed with New Kids on the Block in the 80s, and so that's what he kind of modeled his little boy band little venture off of.
But he literally had no, like, aside from having a cousin, like he didn't have any talents or anything.
No.
So
No.
In the early 90s, he literally just like in Florida fucking put an ad in the paper to start a boy band, which I don't know if any parents are listening, but like
that's not a way to do it.
no, like don't read
It's
the
like it'd be
newspaper
like,
and then submit your kid for a boy band.
I mean, maybe it was like a nice ad in a nice paper. It wasn't like in the penny saver.
But I guess like wouldn't you?
There was no internet, so
maybe it was an Auto Trader. We don't know, but but like I don't know. A man with no background in music is like just trying to cobble together a boy band. It's so fucking suspicious.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. And a lot of the like Justin Timberlake's parents. Well, so Justin Timberlake was in Mickey Mouse Club, so his parents were like already kind of stage parents, I suppose, and they're the ones that like got Lance Bass to join. They like had the same voice coach or something. So it's like it's all kind of like in this like little niche of talent, I suppose, and this certain age group when you're all kind of coming up together and you're trying to make it happen. And it's like he started a modeling agency or a talent agency, but it was just specifically for boys.
Yeah. And at the same time, he still had, because his like after the blimp crash of 1980 an historical event, he started 2 other aviation companies because he had to like rebrand after that. So he still
anytime you fuck anything up, all you need to do is rebrand.
Oh yeah. He still had his like aviation rental kind of company and blimp deals, and then he was like growing these boy bands, 2 of which became successful, like not very quickly. But I mean they did become very successful, which is the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. So he was like he had these 2 kind of
cash cows,
cash blimps, and I don't know why that's so funny to me.
I don't either. I mean, it's just so like, why blimps?
I don't know. I think they're getting rid of the Goodyear one here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
End of an era.
Yeah. So yeah, he had like these 2 kind of company, or 2, I guess, forms of business, and he started to become quite the businessman in Florida.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, and when he started getting successful and the boys started making that money for him and becoming more famous, and like he was not shy about it either. He was like, I'm the man behind the music, kind of like he was like the mogul.
Oh yeah.
And people were like, and so he'd be like, I can invest your money, like I also do other things to help invest your money. So he was using that kind of mogul status to get people to trust him. And so he had a lot of like things going on business wise.
Basically, what we're leading to is Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, he started a $300 million Ponzi scheme. He had like over 2,000 investors, and a lot of them were elderly too.
Yeah, just like old Florida retirees. It's so sad.
And they knew he was like famous because of all his musical stuff. Like he had these successful boy bands going on tour, making millions and millions of dollars, like tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. Like he was making it happen, but unfortunately, the boys were not seeing hardly any of that money. So what ended up happening is, like, almost all of them, specifically the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, sued him.
Well, they missed the most. I mean, out of all the boy bands, they made the most money, so they were obviously like owed the most money. Mm-hmm. But also because he was balancing these two kind of separate businesses, but they were so intertwined, I'm sure, from like a laundering and you know, like
Well, I mean, he named the record label that he started Transcontinental Records, which is like it sounds like an airline.
Yeah. Well, Transcontinental Aviation or something was his other
one. Yeah. Yeah. So he had two separate businesses.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he had like more than that, but
yeah, he had two aviation businesses, so at least three, and then who knows.
But they were not real.
no, they weren't. And I feel like as kind of the boy bands were getting suspicious and starting to poke around, there was also this other event that happened, which is he had an investor named Dr. Joseph Chow, and he died, and his family was like, oh, hey, we want to get our money back. We want, we're trying to track down like all of.
We don't want to have this investment active anymore.
Yeah, like we're trying to track down all of his investments and kind of figure out what to do with them because he's dead. And
will you pay out our investment?
Yeah, and they were given like this. They looked like through all the paperwork, and they were given this, like financial, like, company or whatever to call called Cohen and Siegel. And so when they called it would just be someone who'd be like, oh, Cohen and Siegel, how can I help you or whatever. They're like, oh, we're trying to like track this down. They kept trying to call and stuff, and eventually it didn't get them anywhere. And it turns out once, I guess, all of this stuff that starts happening, like the government in Florida was like, what the fuck is going on? So then they get
because
involved.
Well, when he got sued by the boy bands,
they get involved.
All this stuff started coming out.
Yeah,
like all this. Yeah, because they were like, wow, this guy has so much money, and where is this all coming from, and where's it all going? And when you get sued, you have to do like a lot of discovery, and that's how all this shit gets unearthed. So
yeah,
and then on top of it, people dying and wanting their investment back.
Yeah, and then they needed like, so then they realized this Cohen and Siegel was fake. And one of the numbers that like the people working there I don't think they knew it was fake. They were just told to answer the phone. I don't know. I don't know. But so then like they would pass the information along to Lou. I almost said Ron Perlman, but that is the actor from Hellboy, and I would feel really bad. Also, one fun fact about that.
Oh my God.
One time I was driving to work, and we work by Pete was in the car too before his work moved, but Lionsgate is in like a building really close to us, and like Hulu and Amazon and like all these companies. Anyway, we saw Ron Perlman in a Tesla driving out of this parking lot, and he didn't realize he wasn't in the driveway. It was like more on the curb, and he bottomed out in his fucking Tesla, and we were like, oh.
Well, luckily Teslas have like their whole bottom is like a steel plate.
Yeah,
so.
It was funny, and he looked really surprised.
He's like the most recognizable person ever.
I mean,
he doesn't look like a normal human.
No, his head is really big. Like his face is big. You know?
I don't know, man. Yeah, I know.
Anyway, that was like a tangent. So yeah, that company was fake, and they fucking figured out it was all connected to Lou Pearlman. And they were like, oh fuck, this guy something like super shady is going on here. He was getting paid as a member of the band.
What?
Yeah, like all the bands that he managed, somehow he was making like a percentage as like a manager or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he made all the contracts.
Yeah.
And, like, who knows what kind of bullshit he put in there.
But he was also getting money as a member of the band, which is weird. I'd be like, you asshole, no,
silly.
you're not in this band. Gross.
Yeah.
You can't sit with us.
Yeah. Well, and he was just, like, a creepy dude, too.
Yeah.
Like, there's, like, a lot of... should we get into that now or later?
We can get into it now. I mean,
There was some allegations.
yeah, I don't know if this is related to the allegations or just that he was like the boss, but he had a lot of the boy band members call him Big Papa, which is
Nobody's Big Papa except for the notorious B.I.G.
yeah, definitely not this guy.
No.
And so, I mean, as one would imagine, someone with no musical background who puts a fucking ad in the paper to start a boy band, who's like old and just gross, a fat frog.
Yeah.
Like something weird. There's something weird about that. And there was this Vanity Fair article that was all about boy bands and Lou Pearlman and was called Mad About the Boys and is also like this documentary. There's a guy called Steve Mooney who, when he came across Lou Pearlman, was 20 years old and auditioned for him. Because by then, this was in like, I think like the late 90s, like 1998. By then, Backstreet Boys was a thing, NSYNC was a thing. And he was known, he was kind of like, he had started like this music industry in Florida. And so this kid came to him and was like, hey, I want to join O-Town, or I want to join one of these bands. And he was like, okay, and auditioned for me on the spot. After this kid auditioned, did I say his name was Steve Mooney? That's his name.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
yes.
cool. He like signed him on the spot, and he's like, okay, but I need you to be my driver for a little bit. And the guy was like, okay, well, like Puff Daddy was a driver for a little bit. Like that's how I can kind of learn about the business a little bit, maybe while he looks for something for me or whatever. But then, like after a little while, he asked him to move into his house and like be his personal assistant. And there would be times when, one, he would come into his room and like wake him up in the morning and be like, this is what we're doing today. But it started getting, at first he was like, he'd be in a robe. Then it started, he would be in his underwear. Then it started that he would like rub his back and then be like, wake up. We had this, these are the things we're doing today. And he was like, I know this is weird, but like, it's not.
I need money and I want to like be a part of this. Like,
and like, it's not yet completely inappropriate, I guess. It's just like a little weird, and it's a thing of like, oh, am I making too much of this, or he was maybe this guy's just a nice guy. But then they would ask Lou would ask this guy to leave for the evening and would be like, don't come back until this specific time. And so he would come back at that specific time. He would see someone's car in the driveway, and he would know who it is, and it was like a boy band member. And then he would go into his room, and then he would hear like the front door shut and the car would drive off. And it was like these weird little like meetups, and he doesn't know what they were doing. But one night he got super fed up, and he like went to Lou and was like, what is it going to take for me to like get a spot in these bands, or like what is it going to take? And I don't know why this was the case, but I guess Lou was naked, and he was just like sitting there and like spread his legs and was like, you're a smart boy, figure it out. And he's all, no, and he like, la 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 la, bye. Like, no, bye bye. And then
bye 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 bye. That's what it should have been from the very first. Fucking duh.
And yeah, so then he was like, nope. But so anyway, he left. And the thing was, what he noticed is that, this is all alleged. I should caveat again.
Right, right. There was never any formal charges.
No,
or like...
never any formal charges. No one has really like corroborated a lot of these things, but this guy saw that in every boy band there was one kid who would like take the brunt of, basically would like deflect for the rest of the guys, and then would be the one that like Lou was interested in. And it's alleged that Nick Carter was the one for the Backstreet Boys, and this guy Brian Burrows that like interviewed everyone for this article in this documentary talked to Nick Carter's mom, and like she said there was like a weird relationship, I think, but like didn't admit to any sexual activity, and no one ever admitted to that. A lot of the guys would say that it never got that far. Like it was inappropriate.
It was just weird.
Yeah.
It was just inappropriate.
But it never got to the point of a sexual act.
I read that so he also did this show on, I think it was on MTV or VH1, I don't know, Making the Band. Pretty sure it was MTV. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I thought it was on like ABC. I thought it was, or like CW.
Oh, maybe.
It was a big show,
but
that's where O-Town came from, right?
Yeah. So yeah, basically it's like he created a band, and it was like these guys were like auditioning, and one of them, I literally just read it just before we did it, and I didn't bookmark it properly, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I'm going off of what I just read. Really good research, guys. He was saying, one of the guys during the filming of Making the Band he got so uncomfortable with him, like something happened allegedly, and he was like visibly like recoiling from him, and like it was, I don't know, something happened and it got really weird, and so they cut all the scenes with that guy out.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember there was a guy who initially made it into O-Town who was from Hawaii, and at some point he like...
That was the guy.
Oh, really? Oh.
And he had his brother come get him, I think.
Oh, I remember, because he like he wasn't digging it, and then he's like, I'm going back to Hawaii. I don't want to be a part of this. But it was never really explained. And then this other guy, Dan, joined O-Town. And then that was like the band. That's crazy.
That was why, allegedly.
Oh my God. Well, that makes sense.
I should have read more.
That's okay.
But I mean, we just got a lot of info to sort through. So
yeah, and you know, it's something about it is weird, and there were more than one, like more than just the Steve Mooney guy who said like he would be in his robe or boxers, like he would call them and be like, oh, we need to talk about the upcoming tour, and like they'd go over there, and some of the kids were smart and never went by themselves, and then some kids did.
And I think what ended up happening, and like what the main gripe became about and created all the bad blood was the lawsuit, because he was bilking millions of dollars out of them. Like he was just skimming all the money from all their tours. They were hardly seeing anything from like record sales, tours, whatever. Yeah. So he just stole all their money, and he was sued by them, and it all kind of just was like a big domino effect. And that's how that started. So I think a lot of like the sexual weird abuse allegations got kind of, upstaged by the actual things he was accused of and sued for.
It was one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in U.S. history.
Yeah. I mean, and aside from the Ponzi, I'm talking about like just the initial lawsuits from the boy bands.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, it's all tied together, because he was using that money to cover. Right. I don't know if people know what a Ponzi scheme is. I always have to like refresh, but basically you borrow money at the bottom, and then you pull other investors in, and you use their money to pay off the initial investors, and you just keep kind of climbing the pyramid, asking for money from new investors and paying off old investors, because you don't have money coming in. Like you do have money coming in, but you're literally telling people you're investing their money and they will see a return on investment, and you're not giving them anything. There's no like, you don't have the funds to fill the hole, though. Like
a Ponzi scheme is like so fucked in that you are it is like the most blunt form of like fraud. Like there's no, people just don't get anything in return. They give their money and they like, and that's the thing these people are blinded by, was like his actual success with the boy bands,
Right.
which was like a perfect cover. Like like Bernie Madoff is who he's compared to in a lot of ways, and I would say he was probably a more convincing con man than Bernie Madoff, because he had this like cover of actual success around him.
Right.
So
You could be like, oh, he's the manager for for NSYNC, and then you look and they're selling out world tours every year, and their albums are selling. You know, they're going.
So he was able to
platinum.
he was able to skate by with this air of success.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
I thought that was really interesting.
so finally, I guess, finally, what do I want to say? My brain just like stopped working. But anyway, while all of this investigation was going on, they
uncovered the Ponzi scheme.
They uncovered the Ponzi scheme. He fled.
Florida
they couldn't find him.
investigators were going to arrest him, and he fucking took off.
They were
he fled the country.
Where the fuck is this guy? They like went to all of his like businesses. He wasn't there, and things were just like shut down. Like, which was also like a sign.
And he covered his tracks pretty well. It sounds like it took them a while to find him, but eventually they tracked him down in Bali.
Yeah, because
oh my god!
What, do you see my
the
note?
name? Wait, no.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
Okay, the name that his alias of when he like left the country and went to Bali, they found him in a hotel, and his alias was A. Incognito Johnson. Like a covered up dick. Oh my god. I thought that was the funniest thing I read.
Incognito. What's the origin of that? Florida.
Oh, what an interesting name. Is that a family name?
No.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm a criminal.
Like, you fucking idiot. What a blatantly obvious fucking, like, that's not even, it's like, I don't even know. I can't. This motherfucker.
Oh my god. Okay, but when they went to arrest him in Bali at the hotel, this was a quote from this documentary. I have to paraphrase it a little bit because I tried writing it down while I was watching it, but I thought this was really funny.
This is from the Vanity Fair.
Yeah, from the Vanity Fair, like little video thing. Authorities found him at a place where he often liked to hang out, a buffet. And there was like a pause for comedic effect. It was so funny, but it was like serious.
Like, it's a serious like
Yeah.
documentary, but they're like a buffet.
Yeah. Oh my fucking god! I totally forgot to mention something.
What?
This is really fucked. Okay, the reason that authorities were able to kind of make this case against him and like basically piece together all of this shit and the fact that it was a Ponzi scheme is because his really good longtime friend and business partner Francisco Vasquez Jr. fucking started figuring out what was going on and killed himself in his garage, like carbon monoxide poisoning.
Shit.
Left all of the information on his computers open, like no password protection. Like basically was like, here's all this shit. I'm so sorry I was a part of this. Like, but this
He just did. Was he afraid he would go to jail? Like, and didn't want to go to jail? Or?
I think it was assumed that he felt so guilty that he was like a part of this. Like I don't think he realized like the whole magnitude of this thing, and maybe he didn't even know that it was a Ponzi scheme. He was just like a part of, I think he was just a part of like the aviation company. And so it was like a big fucking deal. And then his other friend, which I forget his name, he realized at some point that things were going south because he had a little toy airplane and it was like a model and looked like a real airplane. And Lou took it to the LaGuardia airport and took photos using it to make it look like the plane was taking off and landing, and I think it was branded with like their company.
Are you fucking kidding
that's
me?
what, and then that's what they would show to investors to be like, oh, this is one of our planes, da da da. Because normally investors would say, take me down to your hangar. I want to see all your, business, and I want to check it out. But because, like you said, he was already this successful boy band manager or whatever, people just kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt and just were fucking idiots. I mean.
God
and
damn.
we're like, sure, take my money. I don't know you, or I haven't seen your business, but you're rich and famous, so
yeah, you have all these things happening, and you're making money. So
yeah.
Damn, that's fucking bold.
Yeah. So they found him in Bali.
Yeah, they found him in Bali. He was arrested and sentenced to 25 years in prison for charges of conspiracy, money laundering, and obviously making false statements. I think he got his prison sentence reduced a little bit for good behavior and was actually scheduled to be released in 2029 instead of the full sentence. And that he was, but he ended up dying in prison.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Can I just read this excerpt from this Hollywood Reporter jailhouse interview? This was before he died. He was interviewed by the Hollywood Reporter, I think 2013 maybe. So this is an excerpt from that interview. It says, Pearlman suffered a stroke in 2010. Prison staff got him to a hospital in time to save his life. He claims to have lost 75 pounds from walking down to 250 after maxing out at 325.
He claims to have lost 75 pounds like it wasn't apparent.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was over the phone, so how they couldn't verify for journalistic
that makes sense
integrity purposes. Okay. So, so he, after maxing out at 325, quote, "If I would have kept on going with my lovely steaks and onion rings and fries, I'd probably be dead right now from a heart attack," says the former mogul, who at the height of his excess eschewed booze and drugs in favor of artery-clogging comfort food. "It was definitely a wake-up call," he adds. He died of a heart attack on August 19th, 2016. Sad. Really sad. I mean, I don't know.
Kind of. It's hard to feel bad about, like, a monster.
It is really hard to feel bad for a person who stole money from thousands of people.
Old people that didn't have a lot of money.
And possibly used his position to maybe sexually harass at the minimum and maybe molest at the maximum these boys who wanted to become famous and be in a successful boy band.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's fucked up.
It's really fucked up.
I don't know.
It's sad. I don't know. It's a lot of, like, mixed feelings. Like, I know when he died, Justin Timberlake and Lance Bass, like, tweeted, like, these very, like, mixed feelings. Like, they were, like, R.I.P. to Lou, even though he was, like, a bad businessman.
Yeah.
Like, we still have to be grateful that he got us our start and we're successful because of him. Which I think Justin Timberlake would have been successful no matter what. Somehow he is very talented. And I don't know.
God, yeah, it's just hard to feel bad for, like, someone who is knowingly, like, taking people's money that don't have much money and, like, with no intention of
and doesn't feel bad about it, like, has no
I mean, he must have felt bad about it because he was eating his feelings.
Yeah, I mean,
like, something's going on.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So that's pretty much the story of Lou Pearlman, the boy band mogul. It's really weird to think about how when we were teenagers, like, obsessed with these boy bands, and having no idea, like, what was underneath or behind the success of these guys.
Yeah.
So it's really weird to think about taking a stroll down memory lane. Who did you have the biggest crush on?
Oh.
I can't talk about Lou Pearlman anymore. I need like a palate cleanser.
Okay, before we
Sorry.
end.
Didn't mean to switch
No,
gears
that's okay.
so abruptly,
It's relevant. Before we'll end on a fun note.
Yeah.
I wasn't super into the boy bands. I don't know.
Me neither.
Okay.
I mean, I was because I felt like I had to be kind of.
Yeah.
But I really liked hip hop a lot more and R&B.
Yeah, I didn't. I guess I did always have like a favorite in each one.
Yeah, if you had to choose.
Oh, well then, if it was Backstreet Boys, it would have been Nick Carter, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought he was cute. And then,
Yeah.
or I actually really liked the one, eventually, he had a ponytail at first when I didn't like him then. But then, I have no idea what his name is. But then he cut it and he looked very handsome. And then,
I thought Brian was kind of cute from Backstreet
well,
Boys.
he's kind of cute and he had like the heart
He's, like,
condition.
little, though.
Well, he had like the heart condition. So like he was like the sweet, like the precious little guy. And then NSYNC, probably Justin, yeah.
With his ramen hair.
Yeah. Well, I have ramen hair sometimes, so.
Yeah. I mean, I liked JC, but I always said that I liked Lance. And
But you liked JC? But because JC was too popular?
well, like, okay, I had yes, that was
Yeah.
it. I wanted to be like a contrarian always.
Yeah.
So, and also like one of my friends like was in love with JC, and I was just like, I can't step on her toes here.
Yeah. I'm going to be a good friend.
like it's like the dynamics of a girl like relationship. When you're in high school, you're like, okay, I got to pick somebody else. So I always thought Lance was just the cutest, and he like never knew what the fuck he was doing. His choreography was never as sharp as everybody else's.
Not at all. Yeah.
No, I still love Lance. I think he's great. He's doing good things in the world.
I'm trying to think of what I listened to at that point. Because, I was like obsessed before that with like JTT and Devon Sawa and stuff.
Oh my God. It hurts to think about how in love I was with Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
I used to listen to the Lion King soundtrack. And in my room and like dance, and then I'd like look at him on my wall and like
Me
and I'd be
too.
like, oh, he sings this, but he didn't even fucking sing it. It was this other guy. I think his name's Jason Weaver.
Oh my God.
I can't remember what his name. I think his name's Jason Weaver, and he was like an actor at the time, and he was like a black kid. And sang Jonathan Taylor Thomas's parts.
Oh, I just can't wait to
So
yeah, I thought it was Jonathan Taylor Thomas the whole time, and it wasn't.
I mean, no worries. And I was like, oh, JTT, he's so
You're so
good.
soulful.
I was like, you're so
Wow, he's harmonizing.
wow,
so well.
he's
like,
so
no.
soulful. Oh no, that's not him.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Oh,
that was my
God.
like obsession. I don't think in high school I was like, eh.
Yeah, in high school, it was, when I was a kid, it was Devon Sawa, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and then Leo.
Oh, okay.
And then it was just always, and then Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah, that's your
In
yeah,
college.
yeah, that's your guy.
Yeah.
Who's mine? I don't know.
I don't either.
Oh my God, I need to figure this out. It's like really bothering me for some reason.
Like your boy band crush, or
No,
just, like,
my
your,
like high school,
your obsession?
my like high school girl obsession.
Oh,
Like I
God.
wonder. I know I had one. I just like literally can't think of who it is.
Are they still famous? Do you think? Maybe that's why. You
Maybe
can't
not.
remember them?
Yeah, maybe they're like they're probably like a loser. They're probably like fat and bald now.
Or like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna look back.
Oh my God.
Yeah. All right.
Cool, dude.
Well, I'll cut most of this out.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's just me going, oh, I don't know.
Oh man.
All right.
Oh God. Well, have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Follow us on all the things.
All the
At
things.
DTFU Podcast.
And
Send us an email if you want to suggest some episode topics, or just send us a nice private note. Yeah. I don't know.
Tell your
dtfupodcast@gmail.com.
Tell your friends.
Friends. Hi, Fwendy.
Oh, hi, Fwendy. I'm Peter Pan.
Oh, good. Ooh.
Gross. I don't know what that was.
Ugh. I wonder what Lou and Jay and Barry are up to in hell right now. Oh, God. Jesus.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. Later, dudes.
Later, dudes. And see you next week. Or, well, we won't see you. Talk to you next week.
Yeah. So much editing needs to be done.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.